You have no reason not to be doing the zombies glitch right now, and I'm not at all joking. We're pretty much being given free XP, and it's so insanely easy that any excuse other than you don't do glitches simply won't fly anymore. Are you always busy? Great, this is an AFK glitch. Set it up and get busy. You have a job? Awesome. Set it up and go to work. Got class today? Great. And I think you get the point. Anyone can do this glitch because it's so simple to get into, and if you set it up exactly like I'm going to show you here in a minute, you can straight up leave your console or PC and do whatever you want while you're ranking up, getting loads of XP, collecting easy Gobblegums, and going to crazy high rounds that most of us would probably never see. Now this is going to be a short video, but I'm going to give you every detail that you need to set this up perfectly. So with that said, let's get into this ridiculously easy jet gun glitch that's somehow still working in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Alright, so let's quickly go over what you're going to need for this glitch. First, you have to make sure you have the Aether Shroud field upgrade unlocked, as well as the Void Sheath augment. Then you'll have to have some sort of akimbo melee weapons. So whether those are the katanas, sais, or nunchucks, it doesn't matter which one, as long as they're akimbo. Now before we head into the game, I do recommend having thermo grenades equipped, because that's what we'll be using to insta-kill zombies. So technically they're not necessary, but I definitely recommend it because of its high damage output. If you want to unlock Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6, or grind them super fast in bot lobbies, be sure to check out my friends over at Mitch Cactus. They're the biggest and most reliable on everything Call of Duty, and they can help you with weekly events, and rare bundle codes for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. As gamers, we want to make sure we're getting the most legitimate services possible, and at Mitch Cactus, that's exactly what they do. They have over 15,000 verified Trustpilot reviews, as well as thousands of personalized vouchers. So definitely check out all the great deals and services over at Mitch Cactus, the go-to for all things Call of Duty, and use my special discount code Viking for 5% off. Now we're going to load into a game on standard mode on Liberty Falls. Now if this is a new game for you and not a save file, the number one thing you have to do is build the jet gun. You can try using the Wonder Bar Gobblegum to try and get the jet gun from the mystery box, because that'll definitely speed things up, but for a majority of people, I'd imagine you have to get all the components for the jet gun, build it, and then I can show you the next steps before getting in this glitch. Now assuming you have the jet gun built, I'm just going to tell you this now, it's best if you don't purchase the Melee Macchiato perk, because that can mess things up when trying to set up the glitch. However, you can pretty much get any other perk you want, other than maybe Elemental Pop, and it won't really make a difference. Pretty much every time I've done this glitch, I've only gotten Juggernaut and Quick Revive. But like I said, other than the two I already mentioned, it really won't make a difference if you get any of the other perks. Something else you should do before doing the glitch is if you're going to be posted up in the bank, I recommend opening up all the doors on the first level. Alright, now once you've done those two things, I'll show you how we do the glitch. And again, I can't emphasize enough how easy this is. All you have to do is make sure that your field upgrade is charged and that you're able to activate Aether Shroud. So go ahead and do that. Activate your Aether Shroud, and because of the Void Sheath augment that we put on, your dedicated melee weapons, which in this case are your akimbo weapons, are going to automatically become equipped. Now if you want, you can wait until your Aether Shroud is about to run out, and then start spamming your melee button, although I just do it the entire time throughout my Aether Shroud, but it really doesn't matter as long as you get the timing right at the end. Now once your Aether Shroud runs out, you'll see your melee weapons will go away, and the jet gun will pop out. I recommend that you keep meleeing at least 1 or 2 times once the jet gun comes out, and then once your jet gun comes to rest, just shoot the trigger 1 time to activate the sucking function of the jet gun, and then it should be stuck in this mode indefinitely. It doesn't matter if you accidentally hit the trigger a couple times, but as long as you're using the right function and you have the timing down, this should work pretty much every time. I literally loaded into a game on round 275, where every zombie on the map is essentially Prime Usain Bolt, so if I wasn't able to get this the first time around, I may not get another chance. But like I said, because of how simple this is to do, every time that I load in, no matter what round I'm on, I never worry that I'm not going to be able to get this done. And obviously if you're on a lower round, and for some reason you're not able to get it the first time, you'll have plenty more chances to practice it. Now there are a ton of spots around the map that you can go AFK in with this glitch, but still my favorite, which I've had no problems up to this point being in, is the spot right next to the vault inside of the bank. Once you enter the room with the vault, immediately go right into this back corner, put your back to the wall, and face slightly right of the doorway. Once you're in this spot and you have your jet gun sucking in indefinitely, you fully have the glitch going, but there are a bunch of ways that we can make this even better, where we can guarantee we're not going to go down, and we can last as long as you want it to. So once you're here and you have this going, pause your game and go to controller settings. From here, go over to combat settings, and then come down here to equipment behavior, and make sure you switch it to the toggle option. After that, stay in controller settings, and if for any reason you mess with your dead zone inputs, we're going to go ahead and switch some of those back to default. The only ones that we're really worried about are these two right here, the left stick minimum and the right stick minimum. If you've messed with these at all, just make sure you go back to the default setting of 10. This way if you're on controller and you have any issues with stick drift, this should fix that problem so you can go AFK with no worries of you accidentally getting turned around. Once you've made those changes, you can go back to the game. Now all you have to do is click whatever button it is for you that throws a grenade. And because of the toggle option that we changed in the settings, it's simply going to hold the grenade up in the air. While you can have any lethal equipment that you want, I still definitely recommend using the thermo grenade. So now that you have all of this set up, and you're insta-killing every zombie that runs by, the only couple things left to make sure are that we can go AFK without getting moved off of this spot, because if you get moved over too far to the right, you'll be in the view of both manglers and abominations that can use their range attacks to damage you. But if we stay behind this wall, they won't be able to make it into the doorway to get you in view before you're able to take them out. So to make sure we stay in this spot, if you're on a controller, go ahead and take a rubber band or a hair tie and pull your left stick down and to the left. You can then use the other end of the hair tie or rubber band and put it underneath the left grip of your controller. This will ensure that your left stick doesn't move and that you're constantly moving to the back left corner of this wall. Now again, to ensure that you can go fully AFK, if you're on console, I highly recommend using a data cable to wire from your console into your controller so that your controller never turns off. And a quick tip about these data cables, not everybody knows what a data cable actually is, and although I'm no expert, at the very least I do know that you can't use a charging cable and have that work the same way. And while I'm sure there are plenty of other ways to figure out which is which, I simply took the cable that came with my Turtle Beach headset, and while technically it says that it's the charging cable, I found out that if I plugged my controller into my computer, I was able to get a pop-up asking about permissions. So this pretty much told me that this wasn't just a charging cable, but that data was actually being transferred. And now that I've used it so many times, I can confidently say that if you have this exact cable, and you'll be able to go fully AFK, and not have your controller turn off at all. And also another quick tip, if you have a wireless controller to begin with, and you're going to do the same thing we're doing here to wire it into your console, so that it doesn't turn off and you can go AFK, make sure to take out any batteries or battery packs that you already have in the controller, because they're not necessary at all once it's plugged in, and you can definitely burn them out, or have potentially even worse outcomes. But anyway, once you have all of these things checked off, you're going to be perfectly set up to go fully AFK in this glitch, and like I said, you can go to work, go to school, leave the house and go wherever, and it won't matter, because as long as your PC or console and controller are all on, you're never going to get kicked, and you can keep flying through rounds, getting completely free XP, collecting easy Gobblegums, and getting whatever else you want out of zombies, while get this, doing absolutely nothing. And because this glitch is so easy to do on the first try, you can save and quit, and come back at any round, and be able to set this up just as fast as the first time. But like I said from the beginning, unless you're someone that's completely against doing glitches, you have absolutely no reason not to be doing this, and to be honest, as long as you have the necessary things unlocked, you really have no excuse. This is by far the best working zombies glitch right now, and if for whatever reason you haven't done this yet, you should 100% be getting on this, because we're getting closer to Season 3 coming up, and while no one can guarantee it, I'm sure they're looking at ways to patch this, because this glitch is just way too easy to get to insanely high rounds, and get all of this XP while doing nothing. But anyway, that's everything you need to know for this unlimited jet gun glitch that's somehow still working in Black Ops 6 Zombies. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe, because it really goes a long way to helping me out, but more importantly, because I really appreciate it and I love making these videos. As always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Skull.